for our kids not to look at that. Can't see nothing. Yes. 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 Whoa. Absolutely.
Malcolm X said that we cannot get past the racism in America until black men and white men can sit down at the table together and have an open conversation.
We had a table. Some black and a white guys sitting down at the table.
I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think and to have an honest conversation where nobody's feelings get hurt.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, for example, you could use something where a black person will talk about something from 400 years. They'll say it's 400 years of slavery, and then the white person in their mind is saying, I wasn't fucking there.
Yeah.
You weren't there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you can't denounce that.
I think that's the key.
You got to realize the emotion. Imagine if I was talking to my wife.
Yeah.
And what if I thought something was silly about how she felt?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
The understanding part. You know, I think that race has been, you know, for years, it's just been trying to be swept under the rug. Act like it never happened, but still systematically happening every day. So, you know, I mean, I believe you started it with a good point, good perspective.
Yeah.
The first thing is understanding, having understanding, and being able to accept accountability and recognize where we can do to change the current state of the world in America as far as race.
We'll cover all that today. What else we got? What else we cover?
The income gaps. Yeah, basically the system. It's all systematic. So it's, you know, real
the systemization of racism
in America. Yeah, and what people don't want to say.
Try to have honest talk.
Yeah, let's kick it.
Sit down, two men.
Mm-hmm.
You're white, I'm black.
Yeah.
Being honest,
straight up.
Reminds me of the skit. You ever see the Eddie Murphy, Stevie Wonder? I'm sorry, it's Eddie Murphy, Stevie Wonder, and Joe Piscopo is Frank Sinatra, and they do the song.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you are black and I am white.
Mm-hmm.
You are blind as a bat and I have sight.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever hear that?
No, I never heard that. With those bars,
life's an Eskimo pie. Let's take a bite. Probably keep the honest juice going with the smoke.
Yeah, I think that's where the real conversations come from. Anyways, is a blood between brothers. You feel me? From a different mother.
Yeah, and just
a different skin color.
I think sometimes
Ooh.
guys. That's bars.
That's bars.
I think guys can sometimes be a little bit more honest with each other. You know.
Yeah.
You know, we might not. I guess it depends how close you are too, because you might not take offense. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
When you're talking about race, if it was me and you on a panel with a couple other guys, that a black guy, white guy, different perspectives too.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's the two black guys or the two white guys, all different.
And that's all based off the person's interpretation too of what they've dealt with their situations with racism. You know, it's the whole reality of it from the basis of the whole thing is understanding what it was done and what it was done for. And me too, I have to be a person that's also coming from a perspective like my earlier days of racism, like didn't start until I came back to the States. You know, it wasn't a thing. At least it wasn't like an outward thing in Canada in my beginning years of starting school. So like racism wasn't taught like how it is over here. So when I came over here, I didn't even know what the disposition was. And I think I spoke about this in the other podcasts as well. where like just the differences in understanding this from this country, and being in it, coming from a different country, we wasn't taught like stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Well, can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah.
So just to back it up, if you're sitting at a table, if you have black people and white people together in a room, and they want to talk and have an honest conversation about race, or at least all these people in this room are like-minded and just want to get past the bullshit.
Yeah.
Maybe see it even bigger than what it is, like you're leading to systemic or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Where do you start? So you got a hurt relationship of two groups of people, right? Because they're both hurt on both sides, whatever level of you want to say it is of hurt on either side. It's still pain on each side.
Yeah, what was given for sure.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. But like I'm saying, and what I mean about as far as like the white people, it's more of the white people nowadays of saying like, it wasn't me. You know what I mean? That type, not the hurt levels. Obviously, black people were slaves, and that hurt level and pain. I'm not trying to deny any of that.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, if you're being honest, if you take groups of people out of it and just say a relationship that you have with a significant other, and there's some sort of, let's just say, cheating. There was cheating that was a baseline cheating. It went over a period of time. 10 years ago in the relationship, now you're married, it's been 20 years, and she's still holding on to it, but you didn't do anything for those 10 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where they need to start to fix their problems would be probably, if they had problems in their relationship, would be to, let's deal with that first, right? So that's kind of getting a long-winded bullshit talk of what I just said to get back to the point of where do you then begin? I think as far as where does the beginning, what do we talk about first? Me and you don't know each other. You have a black perspective. I have a white perspective. We can play devil's advocate in our heads of why people feel and think the way they do. So where would we start? Would we start at slavery? Would we start Jim Crow? Would we start, now?
Yeah, I mean, well, I look at it like, you start with any problem, you start with the root, like what caused the problem, right? First on acknowledgement part, you know what I mean? Acknowledging the fact that, okay.
Be specific. Be specific. Yeah. Where do you start then? What exactly do you say? If you're saying the root now, you're saying we're going to start at the root of the problem. Tell me what the root of the problem then is.
That, like, the purpose of why it happened, you know what I'm saying? Like, what, okay, so like, I think what the issue is now, right? So like, it's different for different people. That's what I mean in that aspect. Like as far as like the blacks and the level of racism that where you dealt with it at, you know what I mean? I think the problem now is most people are like, well, that shit, I'm not the one that did it, so like why am I getting punished for it? And that's like basically from the black side, I feel as though they're saying like we're still suffering from it. So it's like the trauma is never acknowledged. You know what I mean? It's more like, well, I ain't do it. You know what I'm saying? Me neither. I wasn't a slave either, but I'm still dealing with the ramifications and the treatment of what my ancestors did. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing different. It's just the time is different. So it's more modern fuckery still going on. And it's like, oh, well, you guys are just not, you're not trying hard enough. Just like even in the work aspect of it, you know what I mean? Like when people are, well, you could do something different. You're still acting oblivious to the fact that there's roadblocks that are different for different shade of skin. You know what I'm saying? Like the color of your skin does help in a different aspect. So even as far as like housing, trying to find a place.
So what you're saying though is that the root is still there. So it's never gone away. It's just lessened.
Yeah, or minimized. That's what I know. That's what the black tribe is too.
Minimized. Like, I don't know if it's even been.
Acknowledge.
I guess it's been minimized if you're talking about from getting beaten or hung
Yeah.
to now, hey, you're not getting this credit, you're not getting this house, you're not getting this
You
help.
can't live in this neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? It's still those, it's imagine it like this. I create this whole time I have a dog. We'll use a dog, right? And I'm teaching this dog to be vicious. Everything I do with the dog is like to make it aggressive towards everybody else except master. Don't bite the hand that feeds you type, right? And then now all of a sudden, um, the dog, you know, is aggressive and it bites someone, and the master like, oh well, why? Like why did it bite somebody when you trained it that way? You know what I mean? And you don't acknowledge the fact of what you created, and then like you built the toxicity, and uh just put it over there in a little bubble, and and when it implodes, you lock it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what it's basically felt like, what you're treated like. But you're saying, as far as like equality and all of this other stuff, it's not the same opportunity, and that's what causes like frustration. And then like when certain people say like, oh yeah, I'm not that way, you know, cool, you know what I'm saying? Just like same like black people, I'm not a gangster. I'm not you know what I'm saying? I'm not out here doing what they say ghetto shit, but I still get looked at. A lady will walk across the street and hold her purse because she think I'm gonna. Well, I'm not finna do nothing to you, lady. I'm nice as hell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like just being stereotyped. And there's those little small intangibles that you deal with on a day to day. You know, so it's like it's not. And then there's still people out here that are like just naturally into the core that are still racist. You know what I mean? So you still deal with those individuals too, and that's on like both sides. So it's like, how do you fix that problem?
Could
Like,
be in different sets of the country.
yeah,
Maybe worse than others.
way
I don't
worse
know.
than others. Like, you know how they say it is, like compared to us up here in the north, where it's more secretive, right? There are some like bold racist period. That's like, who are they?
I felt like Texas, the people I was around, which wouldn't be that far off of people that were around up here, income wise and things and struggles.
Yeah.
I'm white, so I don't know. I felt like it was less of racism as far as like everybody. I didn't even look at it like race. Right now I'm just adding that word into it, but actually just being honest, going back to it, looking at it, just everybody was nicer.
Right.
So I didn't think of it like, yeah, maybe, I don't know. You know, I'm sure there's probably areas in certain places that, you know, people don't want to go. I think that you're 100% right in the whole systemic aspect. But how do you get to that with the regular people? And I think that's where
most regular people, they
don't have no idea. That's what I'm saying.
Or they don't have a problem with acknowledgement. Like, see, me and you are cool. We are a black and a white person that's sitting at the same table. We're having an open conversation about race, and that's what I mean. So, like, the understanding is based off the person too. It's not everybody in a whole, but
no, it's a lot of people that even acknowledge it. Period. But how do they change it? For example, is you can see a case, you know, and it's a white guy that gets off or something, and be like, people be, oh, dude, if that's a black guy,
basically black people just want the people that matter to understand what the hell is happening and what you guys are doing to the black, not you guys. See, you know what I'm saying?
What do you mean, you people?
Like the corporate, the people that create the the system, the people that orchestrate the system.
That's the truth of it.
Yes.
That's the truth. Yes. That's where I'm alluding to.
Yeah.
That's where I'm alluding
Common,
to.
Common, regular, everyday people, me and you, that are in
these issues.
We don't have those issues, but there are people that are in our four corners that would, you know what I'm saying, still have the racial tendency, you know what I'm saying, because they're racist and they are who they are, you know what I'm saying. That's the indoctrination in their mind is still like, you're less than a person, but I don't know what the constant battle is in America. Like I said, I look at it differently because I came over here and learned that and lived the lifestyle of a black person being treated differently. When I was in Canada, that wasn't nothing that I thought about. Granted, I was young. Maybe when if I were even if I was still over here in the States, maybe I still wouldn't have been thinking about no racial shit. But I would have been in a community of people that look like me, anyways, right? Because it's like,
So that's what it boils down to
mm-hmm.
is people just want to feel inclusive, not left out,
Yeah,
and have some sort of fairness treated upon them, like an equal.
yeah.
There's no,
and don't act like it's okay. So how long do you think a person? I don't give a damn your color. How long will you sit there, and when you're trying, will you like you got to have a certain level of endurance in this? And most people that come from where we come from in urban communities don't have that mental fortitude to be able to stick through the hard times when you think there's an easier way out, and there's a whole ideology around the way to get out.
or if you think that another set of people are getting better treatment.
Yeah,
You know,
how many parents are in the household being able to teach these kids against what they being taught on social media now? Like, so the differences in raising children back then and comparative to modern time is technology. They have access to more information, right? So they're being exposed to more information at a faster rate, and they're locked in on the social media. They know how to operate these electronic devices better than parents of this generation now, and we're the ones that started technology, right? So, um,
where's the race fall into that though? Because like with me is I know you get fed what you like, but here's the thing.
Most black kids are growing up and being raised by social media.
But I don't think that as far as that goes, it echoes their chain. It goes in their lane though,
Right.
a lot of times. So I think I'm looking at a bright spot when it comes to that part.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to racism, when you're looking at that, it becomes like-minded kids from all over the world. You know what I mean? You've experienced it even through Xbox and PlayStation, where I played with cats that are in Germany, Mexico, like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So now it's more even inclusive with multiple different things, and we can see each other and talk to each other.
Like,
that's the golden spot in it.
Yeah, but common, regular, everyday people, the whole gameplay is to
the ads are fucked. The ads are fucked against you, period. But what I'm saying is, you go on your phone right now. If I go on your phone, I'm going to see what Austin likes. You see what I mean? I'm not going to see, meet me at the Klan rally at 8:00 Sunday night. You know what I mean?
If you're into that, you will.
Exactly. No, but that's my point.
Yeah.
That's my point. If you're into that, you will.
Yeah.
But that's how that gets weeded out, right?
Yeah. But the reality of it, like, all honesty, a lot of people take it like personally because you're the person that. So like, just like I'm only using these as examples, right? So even in a relationship, right? You got like if your like you said earlier, if your girl is still, if your wife is still holding on for something from 10 years ago, and you haven't did nothing in the last 10 years, that's 20 years or whatever,
and she doesn't trust you, and that obviously she shouldn't.
Yeah,
in that sense, you get where she's coming from.
You as a white man in an area around black people would experience the racial tension because you're the identity of what the problem is, but not the problem, right? The problem is the system that are supposed to look like you, and that's the reason why you're the front man of what the real problem is. And black people realize that they just don't know what to call that.
Well, the front man of America is the white man.
Exactly.
And
most people are like, they either registered as, well, you just got to understand, we just were more superior in that we was able to outsmart you and outwit you regardless. I don't know. And it's like black people, the black community is asking for like, oh, recognize us and accept us as an equal. or give us equal opportunities. Those who are in control of it,
But the white people are saying on this side, well, listen, I'm not in control of it, exactly. and I don't even know how to change it or
they'll
fix
let you
it.
know
Like,
that they're not talking to you. See, that's the point. You're there to be the punching bag, right? To protect those that are actually the problem, right? And I think that black people don't know what the real problem is because they can't see the fact that you're not my problem, Alex. You know what I'm saying? You look like the person that's the problem, but we're saying that the ones that control this whole little game that we're in, even you're in that game too, right? Because you're looked at as a person that it has better opportunity, and you know what I mean. You're like, I'm not reaping none of the benefits of it, and we're like, well, you got to acknowledge that you do get a little, at least one thing. You ain't got to drive down the street and be worried about driving while black. You know what I'm saying?
I acknowledge more than one thing. I get that still. Like, it's not that. No, but I think most people do. I think most everyday people do get the understanding, especially since the age of internet and the videos. Mm-hmm. I think that's where we're getting it twisted. I think we think it's like that.
Yeah. No, common, regular, everyday people know that.
No, I get that. But what I'm saying is I think that we keep pushing that. We're not.
That's social media. That's the system.
That's what I'm saying. That's where it'll get you in ads and other things.
That's what they're doing. They're pushing that
that's
whole
where I totally
agenda.
Get that. Yeah.
They push that whole agenda because at the end of the day.
But you can be a safe spot in your lane on your phone and on the internet. That's what I was kind of like alluding to.
Yeah, because like that's what I want to. I want to paint that. That's the whole reality of it. And they
live in your bubble.
They try to make you feel like it can't be possible, right? And it's not, and that's the they thing that I keep talking about. That's what the problem is, and that's what the racial problem is. It's like change that system, and then everything else will be normal. It's like it's not a problem. It's not a fucking coincidence that black youth are called YNs. Why? Because they out here, what they saying, aggressive and doing hot shit. Like, what else do they have to do? Or you can do what is really accessible to them.
But also labeling it like that is terrible, right?
Right.
You can't label. That's just being like, it's just badass kids all the time. That doesn't work.
But that's right. That's what it.
That doesn't work. It doesn't. That's just the community getting angry rather than coming together.
Right. But that's the whole point. That's the whole agenda in the first place. The agenda is recognized, but the ones that control it are not going to accept the narrative because it creates chaos, and that's what a narrative needs to be pushed, regardless.
But everything I just said also can go back to being systemic and saying, well, you pulled my mails out.
Yeah.
You did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You took the education, the funding.
Yeah.
You took that.
Yeah.
There's all, that's why I keep saying, that's why I tried to say in the beginning, where's the root point? Because I feel like this conversation will just be dominoes knocking around each other in a circle.
It is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because the root of the problem is protected. It's other distractions in the way that point.
That's good.
That puts you in a mindset that like you're looking at everyday people. You see what I'm saying? Like the reality of it is, first and foremost, how you fix a problem is acknowledging the problem, right? So if you are a person that acknowledges the problem, you don't have to make excuses for what it is. It is what it is. Everybody recognizes that there are race in America, racism in America.
And what you said, though, of being kind of hidden, right?
Yeah.
By the uppers that be.
Yeah.
Right? By the quote unquote kings and
theys.
Well, just the kings of running anything. Let me throw this out there. Is it this that there's only a race out there, and I'm pretty sure that this is true, you could Google it, look it up biologically and stuff, would be white people that could be eliminated in a sense. Let me paint you a picture of probably people running it, especially top white people running it in certain areas, can see that if a white person mixes with anybody of color, that gets dominated. You know what I mean?
100%.
It's not really vice versa, right? You know what I mean?
Correct.
You could actually take all of that out. And I think that's where fear comes from in that.
Yeah, that's what I said. Well, you got to go back to the beginning. What is the reason?
I mean,
of
I'm
it in
just
the first
throwing
place?
that out there. I don't
Like,
know. I'm just saying, I'm just talking shit, but I'm saying, like, coming from kings and emperors and queen all the way down the lineage. That's why a lot of them stay within their lineage. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I don't know the real history of where racism started. You know what I'm saying? And like the whole ideal
I'm
of
sure
what
it was probably day one.
Yeah,
It was probably day one with some Neanderthals. He didn't like his hair. He didn't like.
I've heard several different stories. I've heard like, you know, we were original to the land, all of that. But like the point of when the whole system got created, when it started, what the hell was it started for? Was it the roles reversed and they figured out your
Well, they tell us
side?
everybody has been enslaved.
Yeah. So
okay. So all right. So once again, we just solved that in saying that we can talk about this all day long. Every YouTube show, podcaster, they can talk about that type of shit all day long.
Literally.
And experts can come on who know the history way more than me and Austin do.
Yeah.
And they can battle back and forth all day long.
Yeah, but what are we doing to change it?
Well, I was even going to say we could even put it aside a little bit, because that's the systemic part, and we realize in the game that the upper people, the people who pull the strings, push that upon each other.
Yeah.
And the people who are down here, we're realizing this isn't just like, you know, this is just a game. This is just bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, you're pushing this upon each other when it doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
In another thing looking at race is I wanted to ask you about the whole blackface and whiteface and in comedy.
Right.
And how that is portrayed and the yin and the yang of it.
I got a whole thing that debunks that whole dumbass debate, right?
I gotta ask you a question first.
Go ahead.
Can I ask you? Will you remember your question?
Yeah, if you remember your question. That's the answer. I can remember my answer to your question. Answer. Yes. Wait, can you remember your question?
No, I'm not going to remember the question.
Don't do that to me, then. I'm high.
Because I got to say this first, because I wanted to ask this.
Go ahead.
And I wanted to ask everybody else out there. If Austin and I are cool with it, and we're friends, and we have no issues, and amongst them, other people and things like that, if we did a show where we were reversed, where you did whiteface and I did blackface, and we did the show,
right?
You know what I mean?
That's comedy, though.
Would that be so terrible? Because I could see where it would be. I could see where people would be totally insulted.
Some people would be insulted in that, but like at the end of the day, look, bro,
like, you know what I'm alluding to, Drewski and everything else.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That whole debate. That's why I said I could debunk that whole debate in the first place, because it's not. It's like it's if the blackface, the actual character blackface is racist. Like that was a racial. Okay, so a person
created in
a racist
negative form
for racial purpose, you know what I'm saying, to disrespect the black community, right? But if we've all
whiteface was created by Eddie Murphy in 1984 when he went out and that was funny.
You know what I'm saying? So like
he didn't make it where he was a white guy and then was, I guess, using it negative.
What's his name? The Iron Man, Tropic Thunder. He did.
Oh yeah,
that wasn't blackface. He just was
so good.
He was a black character.
But he was a dude playing a dude playing another dude.
Exactly.
Too. That was the best part of it.
That was the whole thing. So like that wasn't racist. There was no big ass racial uproar about that. That whole thing was, you know what I'm saying? Like there are blackface was actual. So like even with that Drewski skit, right? Drewski didn't do whiteface. Like there's no such thing as whiteface. There wasn't ever a whole there. You guys never been the slave in America to black, right? You never been that. So like it wasn't like there's no like slight of a point where you were in oppressed situations, and I'm making fun of you doing what a white slave did as whiteface. What the fuck is whiteface? You see what I'm saying? There's no such thing as whiteface. There's a black person dressing up as a white person, and there's a white person dressing up as a black person. That ain't blackface. You know what I'm saying? Blackface was an actual character, a racial character. You just
I see what you're saying.
If I'm doing whiteface,
no.
I
see what you're saying. You know what what you're saying is, if we did the show like that, and I did it with the makeup and got your tone and like everything, whereas or go minstrel show, black circle face, and I'm doing some black. I see what you're
mocking
saying.
The black, you know what I'm saying?
But is there also is Drewski?
That was only funny to white people.
Is it Drewski or if we did it like that, would it be, obviously it would be stupid and for clicks and shock value,
right?
You know, and I'm not saying Drewski didn't do it for that either, but was there also too making an absurdity to something of absurd?
He did a thing towards a political figure, so her thing was to push a whole agenda behind something being racial, because that's the way of the whatever the left or whatever the shit.
It had a messaging somewhat to it.
Yeah, but it just made Drewski viral, so it don't matter. That's the whole point. Like at the end of the day, this business, that's what this is about. So we could sit over here and play bad or good publicity is publicity, period. But miss me with the whiteface shit. Like, that shit didn't make no sense.
No, I know what you shouldn't even call it that. It should just playing a character.
Like that.
I don't remember
as her. He was dressing as her. He did and Marlon Wayans.
I was just gonna ask. I don't remember. Were people mad and screaming about whiteface with white chicks?
With white chicks. That's what I'm saying. Come on.
I don't remember.
They didn't. It wasn't, bro. That's what I mean. Even with Robert Downey Jr., whatever his name is. I'm sorry, I don't mean Iron Man. That's what I know him as.
There had to have been somebody out there probably at the time.
Yeah, it's always going to be somebody that's going to push that agenda because it's there and it gets clicks.
But that movie straddled the line and did it with comedy. Like
that's what the whole point is. The thing is comedy. I
don't think that they were trying to straddle a line. I think America looks at it as straddling a line and see where you're going to push it.
Yeah, just like what's his name? Kill Tony. Yeah.
Oh, or the roast to Kevin Hart. Yeah, that's what I was going to go to next.
Yeah, because that's like, it's those people that are. I get it. Like you shouldn't joke like that. I get where you coming from with it, and you have the right to your opinion, but
these are like-minded people in a like-minded situation in a venue where everybody knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, and at
you
the
should
end
expect the worst.
And at the end of the day, if that's the way your character is portrayed, and that's what I have a leftist thought process. I think like this, and they say that this is one of the characteristics of it, and I'm gonna just play on it, just like Charleston White with how he does his.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's playing the character, and I get it. At the end of the day, when it's entertainment, it has to stay entertainment. And certain things, what do you mean
funny, by Charleston White? Is it a character to spread the message?
He says that's his whole point.
Is that him saying it though? That he thinks that's the way my message will get across to the people I need it to get across to.
Yeah, 100%, and that's the whole point.
No, that makes sense. I get that. I totally get that.
We have to remember that this whole thing is a business, right? And that's the whole ideal. If what I'm talking about,
so it's all about money first,
everything
for them, or do you think it's
no? They had a message, right? First thing first, like me and you, we got a message. And certain times you'll be invested in a certain way of delivering a message, right? And you'll notice that your audience ain't hearing what you're saying, but you know that you have something important to say.
Yeah.
You have to figure out how to tell it. And that's what Charleston White did. That's what all of them are doing. And if you know that you can play off the basis of racism, is a huge topic point, right? It is.
So then that's all Kevin Hart roast was, just clickbait after that.
After that, it's more push. It's more
because there's nobody I know. If you were gonna do a roast, if they were like, "Hey, Austin, you want to do the roast of Austin Bacon?"
Yeah,
you're gonna be like, or Austin Bacon Senior, not your dad.
No, roast my dad. Don't shit.
But you know what I mean.
He might be a good sport on that.
You'd know what to expect.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah. And I doubt that you're gonna be angry after, because I would know that shit, I had a crazy life. They're gonna say some shit. So either I'm gonna do it and a lot of shit's gonna get out,
They call
or
Kill Tony
you
a
know.
pedophile, like a gay or something like that. A gay
No, he
pedophile.
said, yeah, I heard him say. He said they called me a gay, racist pedophile, and I'm neither of those three.
Exactly. So you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, like,
Yeah, I don't.
is he
think
offended? You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point about comedy too. The whole thing about comedy is another thing, and I'm not being desensitive. Like,
shit. I'm
like,
sorry.
it's comedy, and the good thing about comedy, which the best comics, the best jokes are normally with some truth to it. You know what I'm saying? It's the reality of life.
To create the absurd of it. Again.
Yeah, and
like we were saying with WIFM News, we create the absurdity of the situations and what's out there and what we're doing.
Yeah,
it's absurd.
Yeah,
not taking a knock and making it personal against anybody.
Yeah,
it's just the absurd situation.
Yeah, that's what we constantly have to recognize and know that we deal with the whole agenda. When we are talking about like real points and addressing real issues and in our communities, you don't get as much click-through rate. Most people ain't trying to hear that. Man, they just complain. No, it's not really that. It's just drawing awareness and having an understanding and seeing what we could do as a community, just even in the small community that is paying attention.
That type of stuff, like you said, gets clickbait and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think what we're trying to do
is figure out a solution.
Well, not just that, is just like you're going to get a lot of bullshit out there. Just go with how you feel.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I feel like most people are deep down good people. We all, no matter what, black, white, brown, want the same things.
Yeah.
But as far as when it comes to comedy and it being done, it's comedy. If you don't like it, don't watch it. If it's a movie, if it's music, if you don't like that messaging, most people just don't watch it.
Yeah,
I don't think we sit back and complain about it as much as they try to make it seem like we do.
You got to be ballsy, and you got to first and foremost feel like, first of all, the person is the artist they're creating, right? And he's not building it necessarily with the mindset of how you think. So he's thinking how he thinks, and if that's the way he or she's creative prowess go, then that's just the way that what I'm saying, it's received. But a lot of people don't understand the fact that, like, for his creativity, in order for him to be able to get the message to be received and to get the proper views, because maybe he gets a bigger check if he gets a bigger draw, and that's what's paying, and they paying the money that he's putting on them tickets and he's selling out, then like whatever gets that check, certain people are willing to go as far as they wanting to go, just based off of where your head is at. And
do you think then, we looked at a little systemic, and then in comedy and in the art form and stuff, I think art also tries to just always push the envelope, so you always have to keep that in mind no matter what it is. But what about out there in the real world, in the workforce right now, in the jobs that are out there, in getting places? Do you feel it's still a repercussion of systemic racism, or if any, if it's out there?
Oh yeah, it's definitely racism in the workforce.
And how has that like affected? Is there a change then to that? And does it go both ways? Is it more of a class thing? Is it more of everybody scrambling and trying to fight to the top? Or I know I asked a lot of questions in one there, but
it's compounded. But I guess that's basically like racism in the workforce. And the from the black side of it is income difference. I've seen personally, even on the lower scale, like bringing in crew members just based off the amount by the color of their skin, the amount that you will be brought in at.
We see that definitely.
You
could be brown, whatever, and you could be getting paid less.
And that's like that is a reality of it. You know what I'm saying? Like even in like and then we'll say basically based off of your skill level. So you was most job markets deem the black less skilled, so they can pay them less money. You know what I'm saying? Old standards and
We've also took a lot of skill
day.
out.
Yeah.
Right. For anybody to even do.
Yeah. We create computers.
Your options are terrible.
Yeah. And you can access everything basically off the internet. You know what I'm saying? Basically through programming. So it's like how much of actual amount of information do you really need if it's quick access just based off of a click of a button in your palm computer, your phone, just like but it's still like the skill level, like even like my dad wasn't car technical, right? But most people in your community, most black people's parents ain't done, their dad's not in the house, right? I was an anomaly. My dad and mom were together, they were married. You know what I'm saying? So like that was another thing. Most of them are growing up in just my mother household, single mother household, multiple kids with multiple different baby fathers.
You feel like you had at least something handed down to you from a man to man type aspect, whether it's teaching you something.
I had my ballots.
Yeah.
I had a real balance. You know what I'm saying? It was not a confusing, like what a man's role was in the household and at the time of his understanding, and it was dealing with life circumstances and not having that understanding of what to do. His father wasn't in the household, so he grew up with a lot of brothers and sisters, with a mama. You know what I'm saying? That, probably had her things. I don't know pretty much the backstory. My father never really talked about that. My dad ended up going to the military, I believe, after 18.
That seems like a common theme amongst a lot of people back then, young, hopping off to the military. Maybe times are tough and you're figuring, I can get some guidance and maybe some free food and free money for a little while and get situated, come out, have a little bit of money, learn something.
Yeah.
Is that I know that's still an option now, or is it not, just because it seems more like war heavy?
I think our thing back, like my Father's Day growing up, he's like the generation right before you, so he's your OG, like you my OG, you know what I'm saying?
What your dad, I'm saying, is he didn't go to Nam.
No,
they were just after that.
Yeah.
So like
Desert Storm before us, I don't know.
Oh, is that?
I think that's the name of the award.
Okay, no. So I was wondering if there was like a lull in the period where people were just going to military and there was no wars going on, but probably not.
Yeah, yeah. But my dad had a plan. Like his name is Austin Bacon. My name is Austin Bacon. My dad. Senior, yeah. Let's get that clear, because my son, I have a middle name. Me and my father have the same first and last name, so I'm not his junior. I'm his little. So I'm little Austin. But, yeah, L.A. growing up. That was basically how it was for me. But my dad, he had a plan as far as like, he didn't want us having tattoos or piercings because he wanted us to be like recognized as a black person that could actually like flourish in a company. Like, you didn't think that we were black when we were coming in on the application. You thought it was a white person. Yeah. Until the black person walked through the door, and then you're like, so you didn't judge or just throw my application out.
Do you think that worked?
It did. It did, but I was rebellious in my teenage years. So I got a tattoo on my arm. So I did get denied from a job that was going to actually pay me decent money at a teenage age at Chuck E. Cheese, but I had the sleeve tattoo on my arm already.
That's funny.
Being rebellious towards my father, and that really caused me
Chucky turned you down.
Chucky turned me down. They said you could not have no forearm tattoos, no visible tattoos. You had to be able to cover it with your sleeve.
Chucky has a chest piece.
Hey,
that's why he wears just a t-shirt. Hey, that's some bullshit.
It was. They was being biased, but bumpy. I didn't care. No, but that's how my dad was. So my dad was like more thinking, like, if you can get in a room with them, you can change their mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a personable person. That's basically what he taught me. That's why I feel like I am the person that I am. Because, like...
So he felt the systemic, and thought that... Yeah, so he knew it. He wanted to get you kind of like a heads up.
A head started it, but not knowing the whole story.
Do you think people still have to do that to this day?
Yeah, that's the only way that we are able to change our culture and our background. You know what I'm saying? That's how we've been able to, the ones that have been able to become successful. That's what we realized in this game you have to do, flat out. You have to learn the game. You have to learn the game. There's no way around it, especially being black.
Do you got to change your name, you think?
No.
You think you have to give your kids more whiter names?
No, I don't think you have.
You think that happens nowadays still as much or not as much?
No, because I think
there's so many different names.
This generation of parents are teaching their kids how to accept who they are and be who they are and make your way. You know what I'm saying?
I just think of our job and how many different same name guys we have that are different colors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's the generation.
There's a lot of that.
That's your generation. Y'all did that. Y'all was naming all y'all kids the same, Lamar and y'all did that. Y'all, so now they grown now. Now they grown.
I'm just saying this. We got a lot of guys with the same names and a black one because me and you purposely be like, well, we're not going to call a black one and a white one. Like, it's not going to be Black Rob and White Rob. Yeah, we're not doing that.
Yeah, we're going to put their last.
It's too obvious.
We put their last
or give them a nickname or something.
Yeah.
But that's maybe that's why. Maybe like you said, they just had to do that thinking that there was some change to it. But there's so many crazy names. I don't care who you are, black or white. It doesn't matter. Fucking Latino. There's so many crazy names out there.
It's so mixed now. That's because everybody's trying to change it inadvertently. And at the end of the day,
they want to be special too. Yeah. How many fucking Bobs and Nicks and Sarahs like the same?
See, but back in the day, that meant something. You know, like my dad. My dad's mindset was, you know what I'm saying, what it was. But at the same time, he still wanted his firstborn son to be named after him. It was my mom's idea to be what my middle name is, you know. And my mom wanted my middle name to actually be my first and middle name. My dad just took my first and middle name and put that in the middle and said, you going to put my name in the front of that. Because he going to be Austin. That's what his name going to be. You know what I'm saying? Because that's my name. I can't get a junior, but I'll have a little. My son still be named after me. He just have a middle name. So hence, that's the reason why I'm Austin Bacon Sr. Because my son and I have the exact same name. I am a senior to him because I have a middle name.
So is the thought process changed then where fuck you, I'm not recognizing that no more, in a sense? Is it changed in a sense was like no, I'm still gonna be you know, whatever their kids' names are gonna be or this or that. I'm not saying your dad was wrong, but it was just a change in a mindset
he was
between generations. Now now it becomes more like, nope, you're gonna accept me no matter what.
I think, and two, my father got a chance to experience Canada too. Like, it's not like that over there. My dad didn't tell that to us either. My dad wasn't one of those ones that was like, maybe because he was in the military and he never would talk to us about that. Like, he would talk to us about like when we were young, like shit about being a man and like playing like he would want to play football with us and, you know, throw the ball with us and stuff like that when he was not at work. My dad worked. But he worked in the States still.
Well, yeah, obviously a lot of racist shit can come from home.
But yeah, we ain't had that in the crib. Yeah. We ain't know nothing about that shit. And I'm telling you, when we came over here and it was like I got the first glimpse. I was young as hell still. You got to think about it. I was still young. I came over and it was just like, yeah, I see everybody that's my color. I didn't have a problem with it. I didn't care.
You're just too young to even anybody care at that age to recognize.
Yeah, and then now growing up in Detroit, and then like it starts getting taught to you. You start seeing it. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's we wasn't even thinking about that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So, okay. But with the workplace and housing and all that.
Yeah, let's get into it.
What is it that you say that there's still racism in the workplace, you know, possibly through jobs, through names, movement up. But what I'm trying to wonder is like, even the job, everything seems secluded. Like, it doesn't seem like, you know, doesn't seem like in the 90s where you're going to go out for this interview and pop on your best suit and tie and sit down and, you know, that's not like that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
There's not many jobs out there where you're going to even need to be somewhat even professional. You know, it's more like people stuck in these classes of, you know, whether it's being like lower class, middle class, upper class, and those games change depending on that level that you're in.
When it comes down to the quality of the job, though, that matters, because like, I know that when I was working in the higher end restaurants, when we weren't cooks, we were chefs, sous chefs, you know what I'm saying, executive chefs.
You weren't getting the main job,
yeah,
like that. You're saying,
yeah,
it's
you know
like
what I'm saying?
assistants and help and shit like that.
Yeah, he'd be a junior sous chef. You know what I'm saying?
But is that also? But like, okay, maybe I'm trying to get to a point where it's like, I'm trying to see, is everything became so corporate, right?
Yeah.
And with human resources and keeping everything fair.
Yeah.
I guess we find less of that in mom and pop restaurants, where they're going to be like, you know, usually you go to restaurants, not just them and their family.
Yeah.
You know, you go to stores, them and their family.
Most of these restaurants now, like, not owned by.
When you were younger, you had way more options at restaurants to work at.
Yeah.
Right?
I believe so. I worked in a lot of restaurants. So yeah, I would say,
I'm saying then the way now is, it seems like, especially after 2020, after COVID and all that, when a lot shut down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of restaurants shut down.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that if you're looking to go through and talk about race and fix everything, and sit down and talk about it and try to hash it all out, that's never going to happen. There's just too many people. The only way you're going to fix any of that is within yourself.
Yeah,
within yourself and your experiences, and to just realize that don't even pay attention to it.
Yeah.
You know, don't be that, don't do that. If there's an injustice, a major injustice, I think we have to come together and stand against it.
Yeah.
But as far as the everyday bullshit, I try not to even acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Try not to give it life.
If everybody's being taught an idea, main thing, the only way that you can realistically fix any of this is everybody will literally have to unlearn the way they were taught.
Are there hates or are there hates? Are the hates so deep? Like, are there certain things that you think, I'm not saying you in general, that black people just hate about white people?
Certain. Yeah, that's what I said. Is a different level of.
No, you've talked to people, because I could tell you the same thing. There's definitely white people.
I've been to prison, so I got people that hate the fuck out of white people.
But I'm just saying, is there specific examples? Like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know, like that. There's nothing that's man. I'm not trying to be a dick about it, but I'm trying to be like where nothing that like, it just seems like it becomes like it's so racist. I just hate your skin color, right?
There are people out here like that.
But that's what I'm saying. There's no fix to that, right? There's no need to even speak to that person and talk to that. Right.
That's why I said the literal only solution for any of this, for any of it, is for everybody to unlearn and start again. Like, for real. Unlearn.
That just goes over time.
You will exactly. Yeah. You will have to.
You'll still have your
rewire. Because there's people that's going to always have that. That's the whole point of it. There, you have to always remember. There's always a thought, a side of both, two sides to the whole story, right? There's always going to be a negative and a positive. There has to be the balance, right? So there's an all the way bad and all the way good version, right? And both are same and true, right? It's all one, right? But it's all bad and a good. It's the only reason why we give anything purpose. It has to have a balance, right? So the whole point of it is like, there's always going to be the negative, the actual version of it, and the opposite version of it.
You got to find the light in everything.
Yeah.
That's the best way to look at it. You're right. There's always, if you can't, there's the good and the bad, the yin and yang.
Period.
It's in there.
The basics, fundamental of life, period, is understanding that there's always You see how that just chimed in right there when
perfect time.
I
don't know if people are gonna hear that though.
I hope they didn't, but I knew it happened and you knew it happened. It was magic enough for us.
Mm-hmm.
That was the podcast guy saying you are preaching on there today, boys.
I just want to say this though. I want to say that it's not like that's I guess what I'm saying is just going back to the beginning. There isn't a boiled down root, because like if I said, like when I said there's the racist that says I just hate your skin, or there could be, well, I don't know, or there could be a black person that could be like, no, it's racist because white people get these jobs more than me, and then we say, okay, you know, I'm gonna fix that. Now you get this job, right?
And they don't own shit.
But no, but what I'm saying is to him, the racism might be fixed, right? Mm-hmm. Depending, because everybody's different too. You know, I'm thinking of what's the worst part of racism to them, of what you want fixed. Right. Or what average white person would be like, well, I didn't do it. Mm-hmm. Why am I the bad guy? Right. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Which is another thing is I don't get that. I get it. There must be, I see it, you know, on certain things online. But as far as everyday life, I don't ever feel like anybody I come across hates me because I'm white.
Right. Because most black people don't hate you because you're white.
You know.
Right.
They hate me for other things.
They will hate you
for me for way more other things.
I don't know. I don't know how to hate you. You know what I'm saying? So I know that like most black people like they hate the individual that is acting in that way or in that capacity.
That's good you said that. So you're saying, whereas I've heard white people, and you said, I hate you because you're black.
Right.
There's probably not just that simple coming the other way.
Yeah.
Right. This is where it's just like, I hate you because you're white.
Yeah.
It's more deeper than that.
It's way deeper.
I hate you deeper than that.
I hate you way deeper than the color of your skin.
Yeah, you don't understand.
Yeah.
It's deeper than the color. It's your soul,
thought process,
it's your existence, your thinking, your people,
the
your
way
past.
That's just all fucked up.
That's something I can't fix though, Austin. I can't fix it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, yes you can. You know how to fix it.
No. But it just takes time.
Yeah.
And I get when people are angry about anything that affects them and gives an injustice. But for, like we say at work, the wheels of life and work, they just turn slow.
Yeah.
You know, you got to be patient.
And
teach, and you do have control, at least within your own circle, to teach your circle right.
Yeah.
That's the gist of it. That's actually how you solve it. The problem is so big and so emotional and so different between so many different people and races, because we ain't even add in any other races.
And this is just America. You know I mean? Even the foreign people that come from other countries come here and they're taught to hate black people or feel a certain type of way towards black people. Like, why do you even feel that way towards black people?
You think that the majority of people, brown, black, or brown, Asian, Arab, white, their all main issue is black people?
Mm-hmm.
You do?
Yeah. In America, this is literally an American thing. In Canada, this is not a topic of conversation. I swear to you.
Yeah.
When I was in Canada, I came over here oblivious.
It's not a topic, but it's not. I get that it's so.
I started to live that shit when I came over here. Like, damn, this shit is.
That's what I'm saying.
Is
but that's
serious?
what I'm saying. I'm asking you.
Mm-hmm.
Then, being a topic is one thing. That's the control part.
Correct.
That's the bullshit part.
Correct.
Now you're here. Are you living that like that?
Yeah.
In certain pockets, especially.
100%. Yeah. 100%.
So you think the America's main issue then is with black people and not any other race at all, or just mostly with black people?
I think that there's a problem with black people, period. I don't know what any other, race goes through here in America and who deals it. That's the point. Like they
may go through it, just not on the same level. Like an Arab may go through it, Mexican may go through it, but probably not on the same level.
Not on the same level as a black person. It's like that's a whole topic of conversation. That lets you know how big it is.
Yeah.
It's a whole topic of conversation.
That makes that, but no, I'm
You
trying
know?
to prove a point.
I'm here. I know what you're doing. I want them to know what you're doing.
The solution of it then is not, there's no basis to that. There's no finding a root.
There's a lot of people.
There's too much emotion and too many people involved in it.
Right. So that means that's compressed trauma. So let it be able to be explained and give them an answer. How do you fix that trauma? You have to heal, right? So first, that's the first thing you have to begin to do. And Black people have to be allowed to heal. You know what I'm saying?
No, you have to be open, like
they
you said.
They always say, like, oh yeah, what happened to the Jews, the Jewish community or whatever? Like, did they get a chance to acknowledge? We've acknowledged what happened.
But I think the Jewish people would say the same thing you're saying. Yeah. I think that they would say, no, Black people aren't the most persecuted. We are.
Right. And
I really do.
And I feel that. And because they are the one that went through said trauma. We can't, but the whole thing is Black people ain't minimizing what they went through. We just saying they look. No, some.
We have our groups again.
That's what I'm saying.
There's definitely
we gotta always remember that we got always got the good, all the way.
Usually the loudest too. So remember
that's
that
the most push. That's
that's
propaganda. That's what I told you. Drama is always the bullshit. It's the system. That's what they want to push. They want to push chaos. So you always feel like you need to be protected. That's the bottom line with that. And that's for everybody, Black, white. I don't give a care what America. That's the way of life. You know what I'm saying? Like the system wants you to be distracted with everything else, so you ain't paying attention to what's actually being happening in your face. You're being anally butt fucked.
Yeah.
But since the topic of this day episode is about race, we go keep it to race. So I was just saying,
stick it with the OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Check out our OnlyFans.
Check out our OnlyFans, right?
But I think that that's where I was going back to say with Malcolm X when he said to really sit down and have the open conversation, because the scars are so deep and the pain is different for everybody, and the reasoning for their pain is different for everybody, and the levels to it is different for everybody. But because that's so big and so large, the only way that can heal, I mean, thankfully, looking at a bright light, is you have the internet. There's plenty of places you can go. But also would be time again, and then to not teach your inner circle that either.
The whatever.
I think the younger generation's better with that.
Whatever investing they be doing in the white communities, what they most likely call the suburbs, be still invested inside of the urban communities. The resources that are allotted to the suburban communities be allotted to the predominantly Black urban communities. You know what I'm saying? So like that's the reality of what it is. You got to fix the problem. Don't complain. Like you don't give them the resources and they figure out other dumb shit. Like, because they're kids with nothing to do. So impulsive children running around with no resources in their communities. And there's gangs out there that's doing what they doing because these are older dudes that are making a way for their family, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And
I think what you got to is rounding it right back out to be just, once again, what you're saying is racism is too big to even focus upon when we have to start here then in our community, because that's a good point. If the young kids are acting like that and it's that crazy and that wild,
fix that problem. See what's
Let's
wrong
start
with them.
there.
Fix the babies.
Let's start there.
Fix the babies. Look, that's how you fix the future. You know what I'm saying? That's the reality of everything. If you fix the babies, if you give the babies a better opportunity to be able to have a better opportunity in life, they're being more creative with their thinking, seeing what they like, allowing them to be creative, be them while they're children. That's where your best developing moments are, because it's true in its essence. It's not altered by what other people have taught you to think. You know what I mean? So that's the purest essence of that person, and
that
learning.
Good upbringing, good surrounding.
Like all honesty, if you think about it, and then you got to think about the propaganda that's pushed in that whole narrative. There's a whole system. They're trying to push the narrative of getting the urban community a constant feed to the prison system, man. It's a
Yeah,
monopoly.
weave through
Everything's
the
monopoly.
lies.
Yeah,
You just got to somehow weave through the lies and
yeah,
get an understanding of it.
yeah, and that's hard. It's hard for people that are growing up in constant not knowing though. So that's where we come in, where we tell you how like you find an understanding that yeah, this is the reality, but this is how you play the game.
Yeah.
Right? It's all. It's the point is you recognize the problem. Don't sit in there tripping about, man. What the fuck is it like that? No, like figure out. That's what I think I love about the black community. Is that a lot of them are just figuring their way out just to make their way out and what they feel as though is out. Even though the reality of it is still gonna be a part of their system, but they teach their kids ways to elevate at least their pockets in a better way of looking at life, and maybe the parents, because now you gotta know that it's this mixed and blended families like a motherfucker now, and it's just gonna continue to go regardless. In the beginning, like I think that they keep the racism in there because in one part was to, like you said earlier, was maybe to protect the genealogy of the white race.
I don't know. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
We do dominate the
It's
blood.
it's not just black. It's Asian. It's every other race that looks different.
But I heard that they
takes dominance.
But I heard that y'all came from us in the first place. This is what I've heard. I don't know what like I said, I don't know the real history on that until I came into America and they started saying that it was a thing.
What does it matter?
What does it help? I don't know. That's what I don't. I never looked at it. I never looked at it. You know what I'm saying? And maybe some people may look at it like, man, hey, so you should be more uh knowledgeable in that, and they can have their views on whatever. But I say, like, I'm just trying to figure out a way to elevate. I ain't got time to sit here and think about whatever oppress and my circumstance. I'm not gonna rely on whatever they feel like I depend on, because I know that I'm greater than my whatever I am right now. I'm constantly building and just trying to learn. I'm trying to dig for whatever resources and understanding that attract to what makes my soul happy too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because I'm at a place in my life now where I feel like my family is what is important to me, you know, and all the outside world chaos doesn't fucking matter. So and the people around me I consider my family, because if you're a part of my timeline, then I don't waste time with just involving myself around people that are not for the benefit of me, growth wise, right? That's I'm meticulous on the people I allow in. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm over here hogging that bitch, ain't I?
All right, so we solved all the racial problems today.
You think we did?
Yeah, because if it's pretty simple, everybody just
stop being fucking racist.
Just look in the mirror and say to myself, I'm going to treat everybody like I'd like to be treated today.
Yeah.
You know, and judge, you know, I started thinking, I got to say this, just a little side note for how to operate. I was trying to think of when Jesus says not to judge, he's not talking about just judging people.
Right.
I think it's adding into judging your circumstances.
Ooh.
You know, when you're at work, judging why I am at this shitty job.
Mm-hmm.
Understand you're there for a reason.
Right.
And understand that you can get out of that or move on up.
Or how can you, though?
I don't know. That'll be for next episode.
Yeah. Hey, I know y'all been messing with the boys at the Real Mask Off podcast and seeing us over there on WIFM and news.
Well, studio's closed today, so we broke in.
Yeah. So, hey, at the end of the day, that's been another one of those incredible episodes on race. Hey, though, for real, in the comments, let us know how you guys feel out there, what you think that we can do.
Yeah. Is there a simple solution? Honestly, is there a simple solution? It's not a simple
solution.
There's not.
Recognize and acknowledge the fact that it happened, and let's figure out a way.
And then don't recognize it after that. No, right? No, I'm saying, if you could recognize and acknowledge what happened, have the understanding and the grace for everybody, no matter their color or ethnicity and things like that. And then don't acknowledge that after, as far as anything going forward against
alert. My whole point from the get go of this my whole answer is to alert, to literally
you did
alert,
say that a lot.
Unlearn that shit, like
Unlearn it.
and then like reprogram a different program, man, because this ain't where it's at. At the end of the dang day, the people that's down here struggling at the bottom need to recognize that you control the narrative.
Boom.
And if you don't know that, you gonna figure it out.
Now you know.
You gotta live in your purpose in real life, and like always understand that you were created for a purpose. So find your purpose in whatever you have to do to survive, to whatever you have to do to provide for your 9 to 5. Yeah, people say cut your coat according to your cost, but like, understanding what you're going through in your life is for a purpose, and don't look at your downfalls as like a slight. Stop taking shit so personal and just figure out the solution, bro. That's your whole purpose. That's what you're here for. That's what you're here to do. And just because you ain't got it all figured out don't mean that you ain't supposed to be doing what you're doing right now, man. Recognize your purpose. Live in your purpose. And this has been another wonderful episode of the Real Mask Off Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Oster Baker Sr.
I am Alex Foote.
And we love y'all. Till the next time.
Oh, man, you said purpose so many times. You know what you're supposed to say?
As always.
Have an awesome day on purpose.
Motherfuckers.
You kept saying purpose. Have a purpose. What's a purpose?
Are we doing it on purpose?
Now, have an awesome day on purpose.
What up, though, y'all? It's your boy Austin. I'm Alex. You're tuned into the Real Mask Off Podcast, where real talk lives. We built this brand from our story. 2 fathers with 5 kids. Each no silver spoon, just soul and hustle. Now it's stitched into every fabric of the legacy brand. This ain't just merch. This is an identity. Father of 5, mother of 3, deep in the D. We make gear that reps you. From varsity jackets to hoodies with the tally marks. Every piece of this legacy wear, this is the real one raising kings and queens. So if you're about yours, hit that link in our bio or go to thelegacybrand.myshopify.com. Cop yours, rock it, and rap your story. The Legacy Brand. Unmask everything. Oh, God.